Okay, good evening, boys. It's been a while since we've all done a cop talk together. I've been doing some solo ones for a while, but it's good to have some company tonight, especially on the back of that game, man. I would have really felt like I was walking alone if I was doing this on my own tonight, man. I'm telling you. But yeah, hey, that was tough, man. Look, Jaden, I'm going to go to you first, man. Help me understand what we just saw.
I mean, where do I start? I was actually busy, a little bit busy tonight, but I thought if I don't join somebody to speak to, I'm gonna go. Like, I'm actually gonna go mad because it's been maddening. Like, just watching us at the start of the season has just been so frustrating. I mean, I think if you look at the key area, I think everybody know. You don't even have to watch a football game to know that our midfield is absolutely struggling. You've got, I mean, a 37
spent, aren't they? It's a spent
I think
force at the
where
moment.
it's like, let's not even disregard the players. I think we've had back to back really all the way seasons, if you know what I mean, where we've gone to the last game. Not every team goes to the last game, and we've done it again and again and again. And last season, we played in every single match available. Remember that. Every single match available. And that's physically exhausting, and that's mentally exhausting. And then to come up short as well at the final day for both of the competitions that we lost out, it's really hard on players' minds.
The bigger competitions as well.
Yeah,
I mean, we won the first two, which was nice.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, but
it's nice to do that domestic cup double, but we had eyes on bigger prizes. You know what I mean?
Players are the same. They want the bigger ones as well. Of course they do. You know what I mean? They feel the exact same way about the cups as we do. Obviously, it's nice to have them. Definitely the FA Cup we haven't seen in ages. But when you're in, it's okay when your season's not going elsewhere. But when you're in for the big ones and you just miss out, and the fashion that we did, Real Madrid whipped us, to be honest. Even though it was a low scoring game, they dominated us. And then for us to lose in the last final game of the Prem because of bloody Villa, couldn't keep a bloody lead. Yeah, that's just it's taxing for us as fans, let alone for the players that are in there. So
I have to say, sorry, just to cut it just very quickly. Like when the season ended, I was happy it was over. I was drained at the end of last season. I was happy for that break. You know, we had that 4 or 5 weeks where there was no football. I was really happy. When that happened, man. I was just like, wow, so good. You know, I was so glad it was over because it was just so draining. I mean, I was at that Wolves game, the last game of the season at Anfield. And when it went 2-0 up, when Villa went 2-0 up in that game, the euphoria that was felt in that stadium, I've never experienced anything like that. And then, obviously, they came back. And we were never actually leading in that. You know what I mean? It was like they were 2-0 down. We were 1-0 down. And then we got 1-1. And we never actually went in front. And I think if we'd have gone in front, it might have been different, you know? But anyway, that's all gone now. Forget last season. But I agree with you. I think this is we're suffering a little bit of a hangover from last season.
Definitely.
Mental and physical draining. But still, we have to address it.
Yeah.
We haven't. I want to understand something, because you know what? I'm baffled because the Charity Shield, I thought we were fantastic. I thought we played really well. There was great intensity, great aggression. I was thinking, this is going to be a good season, man. We look ready. And now all of a sudden, it's not looking that way. Sorry, I'll let you carry on, Jaden. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right. Like you described it in, a few words than me. We've got a hangover from the last season, and it's affecting us bad. That's not even looking at the current performances. Then you look at what we've done to remedy that hangover, and that is absolutely nothing. In terms of squad building, in terms of like we have a side that have been together for a few years now, and they've been fantastic together. They're getting older. They're not old, but they're getting older. They're getting on, and I don't know if you guys saw the thread of the article the other day, but FSG haven't invested from themselves into the club in 4 years. So everything that we've had, we've paid for by our success. So for me, you have teams like Chelsea, you have teams like Madrid, you have teams like Man City, you have teams like winners. And when they win, or when they're on the cusp of winning, what they go and do is they make sure that they get the next level to win, or they maintain the winning. What FSG have done is said to Klopp, well, you're doing all right, aren't you? Like you're doing pretty well with the players that you're doing. Can't you can't you do it again? Not realizing that, honestly, Klopp, he is working miracles. The team is good, but we are over-exceeding all the time. And we've over-exceeded for 4 seasons. Now, I'm not saying that this season is our level. It's way below our level. But at the end of the day, we have still replaced Wijnaldum from all them years ago. We've obviously sold Mane and got Nunez. That's fine by me, to be fair. But we've got aged midfield. We've got Henderson, who's been past it for a year or so now. We've got Milner, who's 37. Honestly,
I know you said it. You said it at the beginning before the game started.
I said, and then what?
You were worried, weren't you?
4 minutes in, front and center of our first mistake. Where does it come from?
Oh dear.
He's like, I don't know, like, you know, the Usain Bolt celebration. That's how he's trying to block the shot on goal. So it's like, you have to expect these things to happen when you don't do what every other winning side has done in the past how many years. When they win, when they're on top of their game, they invest in the squad to make sure that it stays at a level that's high.
I get that, but playing devil's advocate, they spent 65 plus add-ons on Nunez.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They bought Fabio Carvalho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they bought a right back, highly, highly rated youngster from Scotland.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. All right. We haven't seen him yet. Look, I would play him with one leg right now to replace Trent at the moment, because, you know, I think Trent stays a numbered at right back. I think he's destined for midfield, because he's not a defender. And he can't play in that position anymore, because he is costing us big time in the defence. That's my opinion anyway. But I know he sees the pitch, and so he's creative and he gets a lot of time on the ball. But for me, I think they have to change his position, because we need a defender in the defence. We need someone, because even Van Dijk is struggling at the moment.
Look, there's literally been 3 good players this whole season.
Yeah.
Alisson, Luis Diaz, Harvey Elliott. The rest have been absolutely horseshit. Like, every single other player has been terrible. Fabio Carvalho has been good in the cameos that he's had, but he hasn't had enough time to actually, you know what I mean? But to answer what you were talking about, is basically, I get it that we bought Nunez, and Nunez was the right buy, but Nunez was to replace Mane going out. Yeah. Carvalho, he's a youngster that was available for a good fee. We bought him. That's not a replacement for anybody, you know what I mean? That's just like the Harvey Elliott. When we bought Harvey Elliott, we thought...
it's just a bit of future-proofing, squad building, whatever.
Exactly, yeah. But we need to... Look, I feel it for Klopp. We went for Tchouaméni, yeah? And we went in hard for him, and we lost out to Madrid. But when that happens, you don't say, okay, we need this guy. We need his profile. We lost out to him. That's it. Let's end the window. If you know that we need a guy like that, then you don't stop when you lose out on him. You go and get the next best. And I understand that Liverpool's policy is never to just buy for the sake of buying, but you have a short list. And I'm tired of hearing Bellingham next year. I'm tired of hearing it. Like, there's no guarantees in this game of football. I don't care what he's written and what he said. Like, it doesn't mean that he's going to have it. So yeah, just to summarize, basically, we haven't been invested, but we're up. So that means we're on a decline. You know what I mean?
All right. Right. Let me just bring Karim. Listen. All right. We've talked a bit about the problems of Liverpool tonight. What happened, man? Help me understand it. You play football, right?
You guys have said...
Hold on. You play football, right? I know you play football, because you tell me you play. What happened tonight, man?
Midfield got exposed. I feel, I've always said this, like before as well, Gomez and Alexander-Arnold on the same side doesn't work for me. You know, they get exposed. It's happened before, a couple of years back, before Gomez got injured. They've got exposed. I feel like, all the points you've raised, okay, we needed more funding, you know, a bit more money, you know, like get some new players, rejuvenate the squad. I feel like, like the midfield, I think, like if Henderson ain't playing in that midfield, Alexander-Arnold ain't getting protected. I feel like we need like Henderson needs to play if Alexander-Arnold's going to be pushing that far forward, because he's not ready to turn back and chase players. Oh, it's all right. He's been caught a number of times, and it only works when Henderson's playing. I feel like that's one of the issues. Like, and the other thing is, like you said, Milner has been terrible. Like, he's made so many mistakes this season. No, I think didn't he give a penalty away just a few things, or
it was Van Dijk. That was the penalty.
No, a couple of games ago. I think it was a couple of games ago. He's been pretty poor. He's aging, and you're looking at all the teams around us. Like, you're looking at Chelsea. They're spending a lot of money. I know their managers got sacked, but they, at least, you know, they're trying to, you know, they invest. Like you've said, like, you know, their owners are invested into the team, and they're bringing in new blood. Like, I feel like Klopp has always had to work miracles, like you've just said earlier on. You know what I mean? He's bringing players who ain't ready for first team football, like Carvalho, Elliott. You know, he's good. He's showing good, but he ain't going to do the defensive work. He's good pushing forward, but he ain't got the pace to track back once they're in front of him. You know what I mean? You need that. You need that. You go on.
It's mad that you say that, yeah. With you're definitely right about Harvey Elliott, like, pushing forward, and he's so good, but he's probably not what we need at the moment in midfield, even though he's probably one of our best players. There was a point in the game today where the ball's gone through the midfield, as it does 20 times now, and the midfielder's got to track back. Harvey Elliott is 20 yards behind Milner. He's pacing it. Harvey Elliott's not a fast guy, yeah, not fast at all. He's left Milner and come to the box, and Milner's about 20 yards behind Elliott, and Milner's supposed to be our legs in midfield. You know what I mean? It's absolutely mental. But go on.
Milner's starting to look like me on the pitch. Eh?
Honestly, I asked this question to my friends. I said, would Milner get into any top 10 sides midfield in the Prem? Any? Would he start for any top 10 side? And then after top 10, would he start for any of the bottom 10 sides in midfield? But he's starting for Liverpool Football Club. What is happening? What is happening?
You know what? This is it. These managers, sometimes, even the elite ones, they stand by these players, give them a new contract, still want them to be part of the squad. When it's time to sometimes say, look, go and play in the Championship, go and play in the First Division or something like that, or go and try something abroad. You know what I mean?
Honestly, I think
it's rewarded a new contract. And it's just, you know, all right, okay, he's good with the bleep test. He's professional. He knows what to eat.
Lactate test, lovely.
Yeah. But you should have the dietitians, the nutritionists. Milner don't need to go and say that stuff, you know what I mean?
But the thing is, I don't mind the new contract, because I understand the need for strong members in your squad. You know what I mean, leaders in the squad. And Milner's one of them guys. He's been through it. He's seen it all. He can help the youngsters. He's a leader in the squad. He's been there, done that, and he's been part of that squad for a while. So you don't just start ruining out your players. Cool, give him a contract. Don't start him. Don't start him. Don't even play him. Only play him when you really, really need to. But we've seen him start in about 3-4 games this season,
or bring him on towards the end of the game.
Bring him on towards the end to shore it up and see it out, and do when they say the football nous, you know, they're like falling over the ball and the, you know what I mean, stuff like that. Like, don't start him in Naples. He's starting
Jaden, you're right, but he starts him, yeah. Gomez, how many mistakes did he make? Okay, as a captain, why are you not going and say, stop running with the ball at the back and just kick the fucking ball out? Sorry, I shouldn't say that.
No, that's all right, man. The video's not for kids, man. It's not for kids. Don't worry.
Okay, but stop trying to dribble or trying to take, trying to find a good pass. to keep the ball into play. Kick it out when you need to. You don't know where the player is. He got it at the forward before the penalty. It could have been a lot worse. It could have been 5-6.
Look, that's the thing that brings me on to the second point of why we are in this mess. The first is the midfield being open, like it's like a red light district in our midfield. Mm-hmm. And the second point is the defensive organization. Now, I don't know what's happened behind closed doors or whatever, but we look so... The 1-2 that tore us up for that second goal, I have a Sunday League team. And like, if that 1-2 happened to my Sunday League players, I'd be going mad on the pitch. They all stood still as statues while the most basic of 1-2s were played. And it led to a goal because they're all over the place. And it's like... Yes, it's mad. This is the centre back partnership, Gomez and Van Dijk, that conceded the least goals in Liverpool, like the seasons that we've been together. The least goals, I think they conceded like, what is it? They faced 0.3 goals per times that they were together in all the matches they played, and now it's like it's just we're all over the place. It's crazy.
I think it's confidence as well. You know, they're struggling as well, the players. You know,
of course.
I think Van Dijk came out and said that we're not robots. You know, I mean, exactly. They've been playing at a very high level for a number of years now.
Yeah, that's the hangover. So, that's the hangover thing. That's what we were saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So for me, I don't. Anyway, guys, man, come on. Yeah. I need to understand it. You guys, but help me. Help me.
Fourth goal, not Napoli's fourth goal. Yeah. Okay. It got over like it's similar to the Real Madrid and the Man United goal. You know what I mean? Valverde cuts it across, and Vinicius Junior, he taps it in. You know what I mean? I think it was the same thing with the Napoli's right back. Cuts it in, okay, and it's their thing. It's the same play that we're getting caught out with. And why needs to get looked at in the training ground? You know what I mean? Like these things should be dealt with in the training ground before it actually gets onto the game day.
Yeah, you know what it is, I think. So for that goal, the Valverde goal, what teams are now realizing is that Robertson is not a good presser. He's pressing aimlessly and he's chasing balls. You know that clip that went viral a couple of seasons ago when he's like running at the keeper and stuff like that. He's pressing balls and vacating positions that he doesn't actually need to do. Ancelotti knew that Robertson would do that. They drew him. Modric and Valverde drew him in on that side, waited until he played. You're trying to press Modric, one of the most press-resistant midfielders that's ever been in a game, up in his own half. But he's played it around you, and now Valverde's through, and it's a it's a simple cross. I think a lot of people look at Trent's fault for that. Trent kept his line. He kept his line. He did what he could do. He could maybe have got a toe to it, but that cross should never go in from that side. And it's the same. And I think Klopp's noticed that, which is why Tsimikas is now getting a little more game time. And the decline of Robertson it's been happening from last season. I've said it from like the second half of the season, last season.
Yeah, friend of the show, Yaz, as well. He's not a big fan of Robertson. Look, he's been calling for his head for a while, man.
Look, I don't normally agree with Yaz, but in that case, like he's definitely been on. He's obviously, look, he was like one of the best left backs in the world, so he's not like he's declaring he's rubbish now. Of course not, but there's a certain standard, and there's a certain responsibility expected of you when you're a fullback for Liverpool, and he is not disciplined. And his cost is costing us down that side. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of people, I think they look at Trent and they say he's defensive he's a defensive liability, and you get that, but you get obviously the out of this world chance creation that he provides. Obviously, he's been crap as well this season, to be fair. But it's no pressure on the ball. This is where it is, Jason. No pressure on the ball. High up in places. We play a counter-pressing system. Yeah. There's a couple of pictures that I'll share in the chat later on that shows you our midfield at just before the goals were scored. I think there's one for Fulham. There's two from tonight. There's huge gaps in midfield where the players are not close to each other at all. The reason why we can play a high line, the reason why we can push our fullbacks high is simple. We condense the pitch. You press the ball so that the ball that comes can't be good quality. because you're worrying about the player or it's going to be blocked or etc. You cannot turn against us in midfield, look up and hit a ball, because we're gonna lose every time because we have about 2 players back. So if they put a quality ball in behind, it's going to trouble us. To stop quality balls, you press from midfield, you press from the front. There's none. There's absolutely. Watch the game back if you're.
Yeah, Elliot ain't gonna press.
I'm not watching. That game again.
Yeah, that's what I was. Well, if you're brave, or if you see any clips, just see the gaps. Yeah, I'll show you the pictures. It's absolutely mad that we are counter pressing side and we are.
I'll tell you something I've noticed. I don't know if it's just me crazy, not looking at the game properly or whatever, but I've noticed that since towards the end of last season, even I started to see this. A lot of our players, it seems they're reluctant to put a foot in or tackle the ball. It's like they allow the ball to get to the player when they could try and intercept it. All right, so they let the ball go to the player. And then the opposition player has the ball and they allow the player to run and give him time to make the pass. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's moments when I'm just thinking, they're right on top of the ball and the other player, but they don't put a foot in.
That's what we're talking. That's what I was talking about.
Is that what you're saying?
The reason why they can't put the foot in is because if obviously there's risk and reward. If they put the foot in, they need a player. They need their own player to be close enough to win the seconds. So like football, let's say 1v1, you put a foot in, the player moves it past you at the last minute. Now the ball's a little bit past them. The second can make that harder and that can snatch it. The gaps are so far and few between that he can't actually go for the ball, because if he presses them and he gets past, he's literally through on goal, because there's huge gaps in our midfield. Like Henderson is honestly, he's poor nowadays. Like he ain't got the legs. If you go and look at our ground duels stats for Milner and for Henderson, they've lost so many ground duels, and that's just like 1v1 duels. There's so many of them this season.
I love it, man. You're giving us all football manager stats here, man. God,
it's true though. Like
honestly,
no. What you're saying is right.
Midfield and the defense, it's got to be as a unit. The moment when your midfield, your defense pushed so far up, and your midfielder ain't pressing, they're gonna. All it takes is one ball over the top, and the striker's through, or even a winger. You know what I mean? Because we're playing we're not playing wide. Like our flanks are quite open, so if they get a thing spinning the ball around, it's going to go from one flank to the other. It doesn't matter if it's Alexander-Arnold pushing forward and Robertson's far back or like too far forward, because both our wings are exposed as well at the same time, so they can curl that ball in, and all it takes is a pacey player to get onto the end of it. And that's why the midfield, like Jayden's saying, they've got to press and close the ball, close the options down before it actually gets booted in.
But I'm even noticing Van Dijk now. Van Dijk, all right, he cleared the ball off the line tonight, and he wasn't at his best though, And this season, I've seen forwards now are taking him on. Like Mitrovic.
He's very reluctant. He's very reluctant.
Mitrovic took him on. Give him a hard time for the goal. The goal that was scored, and he had his hands behind his back. I think it was against Man United. I think it was against Sancho. He just had his arm. He didn't try and block the ball. When we're playing other teams, we're having all these shots on goals, but the other team, the opposing team, they're diving in front of the ball, heroic blocks. We're not doing that, and it's, I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm at panic stages, but I'm looking at it and they need to work at this, because something's not right at the moment. And it's a baffling thing for me. I don't understand it, because from that Community Shield game to what's happened since then, Bournemouth aside, forget Bournemouth game, forget that. That was an anomaly in the season so far for us. The Bournemouth game, I don't know what happened there. You know what I mean? But that was an anomaly. But something's wrong. And I'm seeing a lot, and everyone's jumping on this. Mane's left. Well, look, listen, Mane, as anyone who watches this show ever will know, was my favourite player at Liverpool. Okay? Bar none. How many times did I defend Mane on this show? From certain other people, I won't mention names, who were saying he's finished, we got to get rid of him, blah, blah, blah. Now these people are saying, well, he's left now, that's it, we're falling apart. No, I don't accept that.
It's not.
I don't accept that. Mane is not the reason we're playing like this. Mane not being there. What Klopp has done with the forward line has been the right move. Yeah, I mean, I personally would have loved Mane to stay, but he wanted to go, so you let him go. He deserves that. He was a great servant for the club, played every game he could possibly play, scored great goals, was a fantastic player, won every single trophy there is to win. So you let him go. We signed Núñez, and Núñez wasn't actually to replace Mane. Diaz was Mane's replacement. They brought Diaz in to be Mane's long-term replacement. And Diaz, right now, is our best player. He's our only threat in the game. He gets the ball, he runs at players, he's direct. He's added some goals as well this season, a bit more consistently. And, so for me, the only positives I'm taking from tonight is Diaz and Thiago back from injury.
I was going to say that. Yeah. I think there's only one positive, and the fact that Thiago left the pitch unscathed.
Yeah, also, I think Arthur looked okay. So
he's got minutes in him, at least. Yeah. Minutes in his legs. You know, what I
mean? I think to be honest, he's got to play now. You can't be starting Milner at the weekend. They've got to put this Arthur guy in now. You know, let him play. You brought him in, let him play.
Yes, there's a stat going around. We had 13, so we won 13 ground duels in the whole game. Yeah, in our midfield combined, and Thiago done 7 of them.
He was only on for half an hour.
He won more ground duels than the midfield 3 combined, and he was on for half an hour, and he left the pitch unscathed. That's the only positive for me today, is the fact that we got Thiago Lord back. I said it. I wish we did it. I don't know if we did a pre-season one, but I said I don't think we were gonna. I said from the start we're not going to win this title because we haven't capitalized. We haven't invested. Thiago is not going to stay fit. If by some sort of miracle we have a fit Thiago through the whole season, then we have a really good chance of winning the title. And you know, I mean, going everywhere. But with an unfit Thiago, playing Henderson in the midfield, playing Milner in the midfield, it is not going to happen for us. They are below par players, and they shouldn't be starting for us. They should be coming on. Honestly, they're just not good enough. And then I think hangover combined with the confidence now, it's just like you said, Jason. I'm not at panic stations. I'm not panicked yet because I'm not one for early shouts. It's still early. Yeah. Is it a little bit worrying? Yes, because the boys, they look mash up. They look like they are done in mentally, physically. But seasons can turn around quickly. They can. Yeah. I thought Bournemouth was a bit of a beacon for a turnaround, and then we played the next game. We look shy, but we can see how fast, honestly, it can turn. And I'll ask a casual, do you think Arsenal's going to win the title? Most of you guys will say no, they're not going to win the title. So are we going to be this bad forever? The answer could be no as well. It's very early in the season. We're 6 points behind?
Yeah.
The pack.
I tell you what worries me, you've got some teams that have invested heavily as well. You know, you've got Spurs that have invested heavily. Arsenal started off good. If we don't sort ourselves out, we're going to give ourselves a lot of hard work to do. You know what I mean? We're already 5 points behind. We're behind. We're 1 point behind Man United, but we're Spurs, Arsenal. I know it's early days, but we've got to get our act together to give us some kind of hope, because we might not be in the Champions League next year. You know what I mean? I don't think we'll win the Champions League this year. So that option is probably closed for me. Because like Real Madrid, boy, I watched them yesterday, and they were passing like, you know, they didn't have to look where they were passing. They were just passing with, you know, with their backs to the players. And that's the level we've got to keep up with if we're going to be able to win the Champions League. And we're not ready for that yet.
I think you have to probably everyone's got to lower their expectations a bit for this season. And I think that we have to be happy by maintaining our level as the second best now team in the Premier League. If that's what all I want to be, is the second best team in the Premier League this season. And I want to get through the group stages and get to a late-ish knockout stages. And I think that's what I think we kind of got to be all right with, and then just shore it up. And honestly, it sounds shit, but Bellingham.
Well, look, listen. When you're watching how we played so far this season, it's not a bad shout, is it? I mean, obviously, we're not looking like we're going to win the Premier League, and we're not looking like probably we're going to win the Champions League. So, you know, we've just been slapped by Napoli.
Yeah, we deserve that more. Yeah, definitely.
Rightly so. No, I'm not saying for 1 minute we deserve to get anything from that game. But, you know, for me, most of their goals were avoidable. Most of the goals they scored were avoidable. Mistakes, sloppiness, you know, and it's been coming, actually. You know, like, I didn't expect us to lose tonight. I didn't think we'd win because of the way we've been playing. I thought we might get a draw tonight. I thought, the experience in this team, in this competition, it will be a bit of relief from the Premier League, and we'll get a draw and, you know, start nice and steadily in the competition. No. Terrible. I haven't seen us play that badly for a long time. And it was all self-inflicted. From the first minute when they hit the post in the first minute, that was our fault. Self-inflicted again. Then the penalty, Milner. What was he doing? Sticking his arm out the way he stuck it out. Then the second penalty.
Van
Dijk. You know, and we don't talk about that because Alisson saved it. But that was another mistake.
It could have been 6-1. It could have been 6-1.
That was another mistake.
These guys.
Gomez.
They got round the goalie.
Van Dijk cleared
it off the line. So, all right, he cancelled out his mistake with the penalty there. Right? Yes. But then they score another goal with that wall pass. Basic wall pass. 1-2, bang, goal. Then another goal given when that Simeone's son, of all people, comes on and scores against us. Just to rub it in. Next, I was expecting Alex Ferguson's son to come on and score. You know what I mean? That's what we needed next, you know? And then the start of the second half, we go for another goal. I mean, for me, I don't know. Klopp has got a lot of work to do. And he's shown he can work hard and he can turn it around. He can find solutions. So I'm not panicking, but, you know, I'm very disappointed. And I'm just struggling to understand what's happened to us since the Community Shield. It makes no sense. It's like the real Liverpool have all been abducted by aliens. And there's some imposters playing in these people now. Because this is not the team that beat Man City in the Community Shield. No chance, mate. That team was energetic, intense.
Yeah,
I
think you've got to, honestly, Community Shield, this is why I still count Community Shield as pre-season. And pre-season and season, it's like totally different.
No, I do. I get that. I'm not saying because we won a Community Shield,
no,
we're going to win the league.
As in the way we looked as a team. Yeah.
I'm looking at how we played in the game. It was like
Fulham.
It was like I was confident for the season.
Yeah.
You know, Everton game, we could have lost that game.
Yeah.
You know, we could have lost that game because, again, sloppy, give them a corner out of nothing. And they, you know, Conor Cody stuck it in the back of the net. All right. Luckily, we got the decision. He was offside, but it was, you know, sometimes you don't get them. These days, I don't understand VAR anyway. So it's like a lottery, isn't it, to get a VAR decision at the moment.
That game.
Yeah. I mean, all right, we hit the post, the crossbar, blah, 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 all this stuff. Yeah, I know all of that. But listen, there's something's gone really wrong at the moment, and they need to turn it around. Just before we wrap it up, we're talking about investing. What I don't get about you talk about FSG and investing and Klopp and waiting for that player, being stubborn and saying, right, but we didn't get our number one target. And I think Tchouaméni was number one because Bellingham was always earmarked for next season, right? Mm-hmm. So they couldn't get Bellingham this season because Dortmund are not going to sell him as they've sold Haaland, right? Two things. We need Bellingham. Go and sign him, man. We haven't spent money. If you look at our net spend, it's low. Yeah, our net spend over the last few seasons is pretty low. Yeah. If you have to spend big, buy the player, man. You need him. You've identified him as a player you want. You didn't get Tchouaméni, who you thought you were going to get. Fair enough. Go and get Bellingham then. Bring him in a season early. We need him. Oh. I still think that Tchouaméni, I think Bellingham might come in January now. I have a feeling that might happen.
I don't think it will, man.
No.
Yeah.
But you know what? Dortmund don't let two big players go in the same
Dortmund are adamant. They're very, very adamant that he's not.
Yeah, but if Liverpool offer big money, it may happen.
Yeah, and that's how likely. Look at what FSG do in our past.
Yeah, no, I know it's unlikely. But anyway, that was one thing.
Yeah.
Then I was looking at why didn't we sign Tielemans from Leicester? The guy was available for about 25 million. Why didn't we sign this guy?
I would have signed Ndidi, man.
Because Tielemans, is a proven Premier League player. 25 years old. He's a decent midfielder. He may not be your long-term solution, but at best he could turn into a decent squad player.
Mm.
And even if you don't want him after a season, you sign him and sell him next year.
Well,
you're going to at least get your money back. It's like flipping a house. It's like you buy a house, do it up, sell it.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
But we could have done the same with Basuma as well. Brought him. He was on his last year of contract. We could have bought him in. We could Douglas Luiz. We could have bought him off Aston Villa. Gerrard probably would have sold him to us. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, I don't think he was a player. I like that Saido from Brighton. He looks a decent player. To be honest, I don't think Arthur's that great. Arthur Melo. From what I've seen him at Barcelona, if he's that good, why is he going Juventus? And he's only played a season there, and he's gone off again.
He's been out of sorts, but I mean, we have
he's got a pedigree though.
We've got a good track record with out of sorts players, and to be honest, it's at least somebody. It's rubbish that the fact that it's him, and it probably should be someone else, but. At least they've come out and said, you know what, we made a mistake. We should have got a bloody midfielder. Everybody knew that. And they finally said, okay, we should have got a midfielder. Here's Arthur. We should have got someone better, but at least it is somebody. Honestly, anyone but Milner and Henderson is something to me.
But the other thing is, like you said about Cecilio from Brighton, they're ready to negotiate. They were actually talking on the same day, and apparently they didn't come back with a second offer or something.
It was too late. We were just too late. Like, it just happened too late.
It was too late. It was too late.
Apparently, we first went to Juventus to buy the other.
Yeah,
Sicario. We're getting leftovers. You get what I'm saying? Saying, "No, take this one, mate."
Well, look,
he's gone already now.
Listen. Arthur. Let's see. He's got a point to prove, maybe, and hopefully that's how his mentality is, and he wants to turn his life and career around. You know, because he's at another big club, third big club. He was at Barcelona, Juventus, now Liverpool. So he probably ain't going to another big club after this move. So he's got every incentive to do well, and let's hope he does. I really hope he does okay. Yeah, so very disappointing night. Really disappointing. Can't say, even though I didn't think we would lose tonight, as I said, I can't say I'm surprised at how we lost. I can't say, after watching us this season so far, Community Shield apart, I can't say I'm surprised at how we lost. And if you look at pre-season as a whole, there was an indication that this was going to be a ropey season, a ropey start at least.
Man
United 4-0.
Yeah,
we lost in pre-season. Yeah, remember that. Yeah. So this is it's not a surprise really. When we really look at it properly, it's not a surprise. I just hope they can turn it around, and they're going to need to. They're going to need to. If they want to have any success this season, like you say, bare minimum to be in the Champions League for next season, because if we don't get that, if some catastrophe happens and, you know, we don't even qualify for Champions League next season, which I can't see that happening, but let's say if the worst case scenario that happens, will Bellingham come? Yeah. So if you're pinning your hopes on Bellingham, mate, we've got to get there first to get him. So, you know, I'm really hoping we can turn it around. But yeah, it was a tough one tonight, man. Tough. And I really appreciate you guys coming on so I didn't walk alone. I really appreciate that. And trying to give me let me make some sense of all what happened tonight. Any final words from you, Karim?
On to the next one now. This one's over.
Yeah.
Smiles on our face in the next game. Hopefully, I want Canate back. And Thiago's got to stay fit, man. They've got to find some, I don't know, man. Like steroids, I don't know, man. Some undercover things to keep that guy fit throughout the whole season, because it's gonna be on him how far we get in the Champions League, and and how well we do in the Premier League. Nunes needs to forget about Haaland and concentrate on himself. If he's looking over that costs more money than this guy, I should be spagging him more goals. That ain't gonna work, man. You know?
Nah. I don't think Nunes is looking at Haaland. I think he's trying a bit too hard at the moment. He just needs to relax a little bit.
That's what he's looking at the road. You know,
he's got quality. We know he's got quality, so he's going to be all right. I'm not worried about Nunes. He needs a bit of time and a bit of time playing with the players, and then he'll come good. Salah's a bit of a worry. He looks out of sorts a little bit at the moment, but he's shown he's he's not that kind of player. You can see even when we won 9-0 against Bournemouth, he was pissed off he didn't score. Yeah. He was the one who came off that pitch vexed. He didn't get his goal. So he's not gonna. He wants to score. He wants to do well. So no, I think he'll be all right. Jaden, anything from you?
Yeah. On to the next one. It's not really been an enjoyable experience for me so far watching football in the season. To be fair, it was a bitter end of the last season, and I enjoyed the break after this season. I enjoyed there being no football. I had a bit of dread when it came back, to be honest with you, and then my dread has been compounded a little bit now by such a bad season, a bad start. So yeah, for me, Thiago to start next game and to stay fit, Nunez to start next game and let's use the players that we've changed our system for, and let's play the way we tried. And maybe it's going to be a bit rough, but you know what I mean, hopefully we can. We just look like we're still in pre-season mode, and I knew that was going to start slower. Let's get some results before World Cup, and then hopefully, you know what I mean, keep it going. But we need to turn around, and we need it fast, because even though it is early days will turn into late days very fast.
Well said, bro. Karim, last word from you. You said on to the next one.
On to the next one. We just need a win, man. I'm sure it will come right. You know, Klopp would have seen everything that's gone on in the last couple of games. He just probably needs a few more days on the training ground. Nunes needs to start, like Jaden says. You know, and they're changing tactics and the way they're going to start their playing. Just keep at it. Yeah, look, you've gone in there with one philosophy. You can't go, you know, and turn around, you know, half or a couple of games into it and change it. You know, unless it's going really bad. It's not going that bad. We're creating opportunities. It's just our defence and our midfield need to sync up and be as one and press as one and come back as one. And we always, ain't got to be wary of that long ball now, from wing to wing.
Yeah. All right, then. Well, look, stay well, everybody. Thanks for coming on, and I'll see you at the next one.
Cheers, guys.
Take it easy.